Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Dominic Donardo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Aforza, and I am so excited to talk to you today about Ava, Aforza, vertical AI. We've been sort of chatting and showing little vignettes, early snippets before, but today we are launching Ava. So it's a major milestone for our company, for our community, for our entire ecosystem. We're so excited about all this. Let me start though with a thank you. This, as we'll talk about it, this amazing innovation didn't come out of nowhere. It represents the hard work of a lot of employees, our investors, our partners, especially our customers, and the whole community has been on this journey with us for the last 6 years. It's been kind of incredible. And also, I want to thank all of you for carving out time. Look, modern work, modern lives are extremely busy. Time is precious. The fact you found, 30 to 40 minutes to invest in with us today to share in our exciting launch of this product, we're grateful. So thank you. I'm the co-founder, you've met me, but also today we've got Nick Heels on, the Chief Technology Officer, who this is his baby. Ava represents so much of what his team have put together. So he's going to be doing the demonstrations, which is super exciting. And today I'm leading the webinar, but when you see what Ava can do, I strongly suspect she will be participating. Maybe next time she's going to be leading. But so that's the team. We're going to cover a real quick intro to Aforza, look at the business challenges faced in the industry, and then see how Ava can solve them. That's what we've got for you today, and I think the demos are going to blow your mind. So, and at the end, look, when you see these demos, when you hear the story, you're going to have questions. So stick to the end. You can do Q&A, and we'll do our best to answer as much as we can. So let's talk about Forza briefly. Forza is a vertical software as a service company. It's a vertical AI company. Everything it does is about the consumer products industry. So food, beverage, healthcare, household products, pretty much anything you could buy in a bar or in a supermarket, or you get the idea. So we help manufacturers and distributors with everything about their route to market, whether it be direct or indirect. We do everything from trade promotion management to retail execution, B2B commerce, and literally everything in between. Our customers are global. We're in more than 40 countries around the world now. In fact, actually, I just ran a report only a couple of days ago that showed that customers access Aforza from more than 47 countries, and they include great companies like from my homeland, Scotland, AG Bar in Edrington, or great companies like Glico, Japanese confectioner, Flora, the spreads manufacturer, and many others all over the place. The technology is built on the shoulders of the cloud computing giants. When you see Ava today, it's kind of going to blow your mind. But remember, all of the power that you're going to see in the demonstrations is anchored on the solutions are built on the Salesforce and Google Clouds. So they're built on the shoulders of cloud computing giants, highly, highly mobile. We knew that from day one. We got to support mobile offline technologies, Apple, Android, very, very important. And we do this so you can drive growth and profitable growth on every channel. Look, when you see what we've got for you today, and we're intending to blow your minds, right? So, like, there's always these kind of situations like, oh, geez, I hope they like it. But, like, honestly, I'm pretty confident it's not going to be boring. You're going to be pretty impressed. But this didn't come out of nowhere, as I alluded to. We've been working from day one when we started the company. We knew that we were going to use artificial intelligence to drive productivity. We knew that things like deterministic machine learning algorithms would be important for things like order prediction and so forth. So we always worked on the basis that AI is part of the journey. And then in recent times, we've taken our technology, which was deterministic in nature, and combined it with generative technologies, which are more like probabilistic, and combined these things on top of that end-to-end application suite that completely goes from source to endpoint and distribution, and that all that data in between, and put that together. So when we see what we saw today, and you think, well, how did they do that? Please remember, this didn't come out of nowhere. This represents a lot of people working very hard, a significant investment of many millions of dollars in research and development to get to where we are today. So I think that when you look at it all, you understand how we've combined all these things to do this. Now, well, why do it? What are the challenges we face? Well, this is a lovely chart here from McKinsey. I'm always quite impressed with the quality of analysis that McKinsey put together. There's a lot going on here, but let me try and summarize it briefly. At the start of the century, CPG companies, you could compare it to the best companies in the world, the S&P 500. Every dollar you invested in a CPG company actually probably was going to outperform the S&P 500. But when you look at as it's happened in recent decades, that faded away. And then with the COVID, inflationary crisis, and many other challenges that we saw, supply chain, wars, like that gap just faded. And the golden days of when CPG companies could be compared to the S&P 500 became very, very challenging. So why was that? Well, the top line growth faded. We can think of, why. The margins went down. Of course, costs keep rising. And I always feel extremely sympathetic to consumer product companies because I know just how hard it is for all of you to manage that situation, even when perhaps other people, governments, or the consumers in the street are a lot less sympathetic to price rises and why they happen. Like we do understand that. But nevertheless, it's our job, your job, our job to come together to think about how to confront these challenges. And um, it's kind of a crazy thing to say, but when you see what we're about to show you, and you think about what technology can achieve today, not in the future, but now, like now, when you think about that, you can then start to see patterns where inefficiencies are everywhere. And if you think about it, there's places like they just in your company it's kind of left alone because no one thinks to question it anymore. Business process outsourcing, I don't know, claims processing, heavy sales admin. Even in today in 2025, even with modern technology, 30% admin at least perhaps. You got people who perhaps are not productive because you've had employee churn, attrition, constantly training them. This is going on forever. That 70% of your promotions have got ineffective trade spend. There's a lot of manual field processes, and the old perennial problem around the legacy data reporting, trying to get that overall view. All these things are like, do you know what? There's probably more. You could drive a truck through it all. So this operational drag, to coin a phrase here, is what's killing margins. It's all those lost days, all that lost work. And by the way, people, my experience of most employees in my working life is people are not lazy. People are employees are quite committed to their jobs to try to do a good job, So all this lost time, it's just drag. And by the way, it's not exactly motivating for anyone either. So this to me represents a vertical AI opportunity. Guess how do we break through this drag? And I love this graphic here with giving Ava a sledgehammer. And she is absolutely all about breaking through all that drag and helping to free your ability to grow and to protect those margins. So I would like to introduce Ava. She is, without a doubt, the most effective employee you could ever employ. She is the world's greatest coach. She spent her entire life in the consumer products industry. She's an expert in commercial planning. She boosts the productivity of people by 10x. She's got a deep knowledge of every customer in the market. And she's kind of like a perfect person who doesn't sleep, doesn't go on holiday, doesn't get sick. She's just there to help everybody all the time. Is that right, Eva?
You're right, Dom. I can coach your sales team. But it doesn't stop there. I'm not just helping one team. I'm helping all of them. I'm Ava, the Aforza promotion coach. I'm Ava, the Aforza visit. How can I help? How can I help? I'm Aforza visit. I'm Aforza adoption. Leave this. How can I help? I will have all of your claims processed in seconds.
Claims processed in seconds. So you can see why I joked at the start about Ava might be doing the webinar next time. She doesn't call for splitter. It's very precise in what she says. So it's not, even now when you get towards what we're going to show you, it's not even just about the individual demo vignettes. It's the whole thing at scale. The ability to do it everywhere all at once. So this is kind of incredible. And we were trying to think about how to actually explain this. And really, it's about heavy lifting. The use of vertical AI, which has very, very precise business context, to do heavy lifting. And then like that subtitle is kind of the key phrase here. Ava rewrites the productivity roles for everyone in the front office and maybe even the mid office in consumer product companies. Everyone. So how does it work? Well, if you think about it, remember at the start, I kind of started to explain this. We're built on Salesforce and Google. We've put in all the data models, all the capability with engines, all the metadata, all the API layer. We've been able to build out business process libraries of all the best practices for sales and related functions. We put together a studio marketplace that brought together all the messaging tools, all the image recognition tools that you integrate and that your employees actually use every day. And then you take it to every channel, field sales, merchandisers, telesales, B2B commerce, and so forth. And you build agents on top of that. Planning agents, visit agents, order agents, promotion agents, help agents, and there will be more. You put it into that context and that data, and you can just see how the harbour raises all boats. And it frees your employees from so many legacy problems. Let's get into it. Think about it this way. Number one, as your commercial coach, I don't know, you've got a new employee, they're in a retail store, they don't know what to do. Ava, what's the best practice? What should I be doing in this store exactly? Or Ava, what promotions are on today? Or whatever, right? Immediately everyone has got help on hand, like wherever they are, all over the world, to help them be better at their jobs. And then think about it as it's embedded in your daily tasks. It's integrated in every solution. So it might be, Ava, I don't feel well. Could you reallocate all my visits to next week? Or maybe I'm the sales manager. I'm like, Dominic's not well. Reallocate all his tasks amongst his colleagues in a way that makes sense, Or please draft me profitable orders. Or help me create an order that's got the right promotions in it for this customer. Whatever it is, those daily tasks become automated. Ava, help me write a key account plan. Right? Some of these jobs take time. Remember that 30 to 40% sales admin time? This is really going to impact everyone every day. But then it goes on. It goes to the heavy lifting, like with the fun video we just showed you. What about mass claim processing? So many things get this incredible impact and lift like immediately. So I think it's really, really going to be an era-defining event. When we think about the application of AI, it sounds like a grandiose statement, but it's almost like a species-impacting event in terms of how productivity will change for, well, it already has changed, let's be honest. Even in my business, the number of people I need to do tasks is diminished because artificial intelligence helps me automate so much, right? So this is this has happened, it is happening, and now in 2025, we're bringing an incredible level of productivity to the consumer products industry. But enough from me. I think it's really important that you get a chance to see it. So I want to hand over now to my good friend and co-founder, Nick, who's going to take you through some use case demonstrations. Are you there, Nick?
Hey, Dominic. Yes, I'm here. And a very warm welcome to all of you attending the webinar today. I'm really, really, really excited to talk about Ava and to talk about the AI revolution that's happening in consumer goods. Dominic's already gone through the details of why we've built Ava and why we think it's going to be successful. So I get the pleasure of actually showing you it working in action. Now, before I get into the demonstrations, the first thing I want to say is everything you're seeing today is genuinely live AI running on our Ava platform, our Ava technology. So all the use cases you see are completely factual, real, and available to you as a customer of Aforza today. So this isn't some sort of future vision. This isn't something that we're thinking about. This is live, actual software which you can use to get tangible benefits for your business. So we're going to be looking through 3 different use cases, as Dominic mentioned. We're going to start by just introducing you to Ava and how she can be used to coach your employees, to answer questions, and to do a variety of different tasks. We're then going to show you how Ava is embedded directly into your daily applications. So whether you're doing retail execution, direct store delivery, trade promotion management, key account management, Ava is there and ready to help. And then lastly, I'm going to take you through a couple of different scenarios where Ava really shines at doing the heavy lifting or the heavy automation. So you can see how Ava is going to be able to do some mass visit scheduling. You're going to be able to see how she can handle all the claims that come into your system automatically. And we're also going to see how we can look at Ava from a analytics point of view and track and validate what she has been doing. So that sounds really good. Hopefully you're going to find it interesting and illuminating. So without further ado, let me get my laptop set up here and we'll dive into use case number 1. So for this first demonstration, I'm taking on the persona of Sophie. And Sophie is a brand new sales rep to a company called Royal Manufacturing. And Sophie is currently going through an onboarding process. She's just joined the company and she really wants to know as much about the company and the sales process as she can. Now, traditionally, if you wanted to onboard Sophie or onboard your new starters, there'd be some sort of training, there might be a course, or maybe they just go into the field and not have much training at all, which isn't ideal. But now with Ava, Sophie has a coach which can tell her everything she needs to know to excel at her job from day one. So Sophie's on her laptop and she's opened up the Ava application, and right away she can start interacting with Ava and asking her questions. So the first question she might have is something like, what can you help me with? Right? And when she asks that question, Ava's going to go away and answer with a response. So Ava's come back and she said she can assist with a variety of different things, anything from placing orders to planning promotions, processing claims, a huge array of things that Sophie needs to do, so she's very happy about that. She now wants to know a bit more about the company and the sales strategy. So she can ask something like, what is our sales strategy at this company? And again, Ava's going to go away and she has access to a wealth of information about the Royal Manufacturing Company, so she can come back with a response. So great, she's come back and she's come back with the sales strategy focusing on executing perfect pricing, placement, and promotions. This is completely unique to this company, to this business. So Sophie is getting real-time informed training about her company and what she needs to do to excel and to perform correctly. So that's really great. Now that she knows a bit more about the company, maybe she's interested about the accounts that she's been assigned. So she could go and ask something like, can you tell me about my new customer, Fresh Start Shop Southeast? So again, Ava goes away and she has access to all of the data in your CRM system. So that means she can look up all the details about Fresh Start Shop Southeast, all of the recent activities, the order history, invoices, everything that Sophie might need to know. So Sophie's immediately given this little digest of everything about Fresh Start Shop Southeast. The location, credit limits, recent orders, recent visits, activities, pending invoices, key metrics. And from this, she can get this snapshot of this customer that would have taken her minutes, perhaps hours to kind of track down in the system before. Of course, she can go in and she can ask more pertinent questions about recent orders or invoices. In this case, she's interested in how she can actually increase revenue of the customer. So she's going to go ahead and ask, what are the most popular products bought by this customer? And again, Ava comes back and she knows the history of this customer. So she can go in and she can say, here are the 5 most popular products. So we can see, or Sophie can see, there's a number of different Duke brand products. There's a couple of, there's a King product and a Queen product. And Sophie can immediately see, okay, Duke products seem to be the favorite here. Let's see if we can push more of those products. But again, I'm new to the company. I don't really know anything about the Duke brand. I don't know anything about how we should sell it, what are its benefits. So I can go and ask, give me some information about those Duke products and some guidance on how we should sell them. Wow, Ava's given us amazing information here. She's told Sophie all of the different product SKUs and the product lines that fall into the Duke brand. And she's even gone and given us selling guidance about the specific areas that Duke really excels in, whether it's the quality, the different bundle offers we've got. and the versatility of the brands that we're supporting. So all this information, again, is tailored to this specific business, to these specific product lines. And Sophie, within a matter of minutes, is now an expert on the sales strategy, the customer she's visiting and key account managing, and the products that she wants to offer. So that's great. She's had a really good back and forth with Ava, but this is where it gets really exciting. Sophie can use Ava to actually draft orders for her customer. So instead of having to go into the CRM system or go and visit and use the retail execution app, she can simply say to Ava, that sounds amazing, right? I want to create a new draft order for £1,000 of those Duke products. And just like that, Ava has gone and created a brand new order for Sophie. It contains all of the Duke products. It contains a mix of them that all add up together as requested. And Sophie now has all the information she needs to visit that customer, to really talk about the products and sell them. And she's got the draft order created so that she can go in and she can immediately and efficiently get that order across the line with just a few modifications when talking to them. Of course, I could go and I could start making some adjustments. Maybe I want to tweak the numbers. But Ava's made a really good first start on this. And as someone that's new to the company, this is perfect for me on my first visit to the customer. So I've shown you here how using the laptop and using the Ava app here on my laptop, I'm able to go through a really long and valuable conversation in a matter of minutes. And with all that information, as I said before, I'm now an expert on the company, the sales strategy, my customers, the products, and I've even gone and had an order created and drafted for me automatically. And what's great is if I need to reference this in the future, it's all saved to my chat history. So all of these details I can pull up again as and when I need them. But it doesn't just stop there. This is how I'd maybe interact with Ava when I'm in the office. But what happens when I'm in the field and I need to do something or get some information from Ava when I'm doing my day-to-day job? Let's take a look. So now I'm here on my iPhone and I'm about to do my first real day visiting customers in the field. And I've got access to all of my Aforza applications. I've got Field for my retail execution. I've got Studio for all of my digital assets, my sales content. And I've got the Ava app as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on the Ava app. And this gives me a very similar experience to what you just saw on the laptop. I can go in and I can ask Ava any question I want. So in this case, because I'm in the field, I want to actually understand who I'm visiting today. So I can say something like, what is my schedule for today? And just like on the laptop, Ava's going to go away and it's going to find the schedule for Sophie and bring it back to us. Great, amazing. So it's worked out my schedule for today, the 30th of January. It can see I've got an initial visit with Fresh Start Shop Southeast. Amazing, I'm really prepared for them. And then I've got a couple of other visits for some other customers as well. Below that, it's also given us some handy links. So these are the visits today in my calendar. And if I click on one of these, this will directly open up my retail execution app so I can start performing that visit. Really useful. Now, I know I created that new order, but I've got a terrible memory. So what I'm going to do is ask Ava to create a new note reminding me about the order that I've placed for Fresh Start Shop Southeast. Fantastic. So the note was successfully created and that's been added to my visits. So now when I go there, I'm going to get a reminder and I'm not going to forget about that draft order I created with the Duke products. So this was just a brief overview of kind of an introduction to Ava, right? You've seen how you can use her on the laptop and get information about the company and your customers and your sales process, but you can also use her in the field on your mobile app. No matter where you are, you can ask Ava for help. She can help you look at your visits, create orders, tell you about the company, and tell you about your sales process. So for a new employee, I've immediately been much more efficient, much more effective than I would have been. It might have taken me months to get a similar onboarding to what I've got in minutes with Ava. So now let's take a look at demonstration 2. So I've shown you how you can use Ava using the standalone apps. But now I want to show you Ava when she's embedded into your existing workflows. So I'm here now again as Sophie, and I'm using my iPad in this case. And I can see the same applications are available to me, Field, Studio, and Ava. Now what I'm going to do is click into Field so I can do all of my retail execution tasks and my field sales tasks. So here I am on the home page. I can see I've got a number of visits I'm performing today on the route. And I can go to my calendar, and this is going to give me that calendar view of the different visits I'm performing. But I've just been called by my manager, and the manager said actually one of my team members is off sick today, so unfortunately they can't do their visits, and the manager has asked me to cover for them and take their accounts. So of course I'm a new employee, I'm eager to please, so I said sure, of course. And I can actually go in and I can see my team member's visits. His name's Kieran. I'm going to add him onto the calendar there, so I can see he's got 2 visits there. There's one to that bar at 10, and then there's another drinks company later on in the day. Now, normally, my manager or me or someone would have to kind of manually reassign these to me, but we have Ava now. So in the bottom left corner, you'll see the Ava icon, and this is available no matter where I am in the application. So Ava knows what I'm doing, and Ava can help. So if I click on the Ava icon, up pops Ava, just like you saw before, but now she knows that I'm on a calendar, I'm looking at some visits. So I can say, Kieran is off sick today. Please move all his visits to my calendar. So Ava now goes off, and what she's doing behind the scenes is looking up Kieran's visits, looking at my calendar, and she's swapping everything over as I've requested. Amazing. So she's gone away, she's found all Kieran's visits, there's 2 we see in the calendar, and she swapped them over to me. So now my first visit of the day is to that Baxter Bar Northwest, which I'm ready to do. If I was to close down my Ava chat now and refresh the calendar, I can see that those 2 visits are indeed in my calendar, ready for me to execute. So great. How about we go and actually do one of them now? So let me click on the first one for the day that I want to do, that Baxter Bar. I'll click on it, and I can see it's in my name now. I can see it's got all of the different visit tasks assigned to me correctly, so I know there's a bunch of stuff I need to do with this customer since Kieran's off ill. So I'm going to go ahead and start that visit. And this brings me to my visit screen. I can then use this to navigate to the store, and when I'm there I can check in. Cool, so I've checked in, and now I can actually start this visit. So the problem I have is I'm quite new to the company. I don't know anything about this customer because it's not one of my customers. So I can go down and I can scroll through and I can see details about the customer, and I've got all this information about the account balances and KPIs, which is great. It's really insightful. But I just want to get in and get my job done. I don't want to look through all of this detail. I just want to know what I need to do today at this visit. So right at the top, you can see there's an Ava action. These are special actions which are embedded throughout the application that I can use to get insights where and when I need them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my top visit priorities. And this is going to go away and ask Ava to tell me about this visit and what I need to do. Amazing. So here are the top 5 things I should focus on. There's some unpaid invoices. There's some open compliance issues. That seems to be a big one. So there's an incorrect location, and there's some missing items as well. It's giving me an update on the account plan objectives and where we're trying to maximize our time there. And then there's a couple of orders in draft status which we need to sort out as well. So this is great. This is giving me exactly what I need to know to now go and execute this visit really quickly, but in a way that is not going to risk the relationship that Kieran has with them as well. So I'm going to go and do that compliance issue. So I'm going to go ahead and start this shelf audit compliance guide. So I want to make sure that I get that compliance issue sorted out so when Kieran's back, it's been taken care of. So when I go into this guided process, it's going to take me step by step through what I need to do to solve the compliance issue. And the first thing it's showing me is that compliance score. So we can see why they've had some issues. They're 53% compliant. If I open this chart up, I can see that the products, the pricing, location, they're all below what we need them to be. And I can, again, see Ava intelligent actions throughout these processes, so I can get details on the compliance insights directly on this page if I need to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click next, go to the next page, and this is where it's going to ask me to enter some information. So I'm going to enter some kind of manual details here, making sure everything's visible and the pricing's correct, and the location of the shelf is in the right location. And then I'm going to go capture a photo. So I'm going to take a photo of the store shelf where there's been some issues. So I've got a picture ready here of the store shelf. And I'm going to have that analyzed in real time. So this is now sending that image to be analyzed by one of our image recognition partners. In this case, we're using Neuralabs. And Neuralabs is going to go away, it's going to look at the products, it's going to find them on the shelf, it's going to look at share of shelf, and give us that real-time insight. Okay, great, it's finished. I can take a look at it. I can see all the products it's found on the shelf. So there's a bunch of Duke products, some King products. And I can also see the share of shelf. So I can see, what's been identified, where everything's located, all of that stuff. Now again, this is great information, but I just want to get through this account quickly so I can get to my customers. So I'm going to ask Ava for some suggestions on what I should do based on that information. So Ava is now going away and it's looking at the photo we've captured, it's looking at the details we've entered, and it's looking at the history and compliance issues of this customer. And it's working out exactly what we should do to make this customer successful and to improve that compliance. So within about 5 to 10 seconds, it was able to do all of that. So the first thing it's done is it's looked at that picture and it's given us some examples of what we should do. So the very top example is reevaluate the product placement. So it's actually figured out that some of the King and Duke products are displayed next to each other, which is something we specifically don't allow as part of our contracts. Right? It's against the compliance rules. And it leads to customer confusion and diminishes our brand clarity. So it's spotted that immediately and it's called it out as something we need to change. It's also then worked out that we need to increase the number of facings. We've got a very low number of facings based on what we've sold them in the past. So perhaps we need to sell them more, or maybe we just need to make sure there's nothing in the back of the store that we should bring to the front. It's also gone ahead and given us some white space opportunities. And it's done a full compliance check again. Share of shelf compliance is very low still. We need a total of 60%. We're currently only at 51%. So it's given us all the information I've needed to go and start making some changes to the shelf, to adding new products to the orders that they might place. And it's done all of this based on me capturing a photo and entering a few key details. Now, again, I'm a new employee. I wouldn't have any clue how to do this. And this is now immediately giving me expert advice on what we need to do to get this customer compliant and selling and revenue generating. Interestingly, right at the bottom, it's also given us some useful links to the images that were analyzed. So I click on product identification. It's actually going to show me the image I uploaded, but as it's been identified with all the products. So you can see exactly where they were on the shelf and how it's identified them. So that's really cool and very useful again if I need more details. Finally, I can end this process. I can see my compliance score is now improved. Fantastic. Kieran is going to be happy with me. And I can go on and do the rest of my tasks for this visit, finish it off, and get on to my next visit. Super efficient, super effective. And we've now made a customer happy, an employee happy, and hopefully we're going to be generating a lot more revenue from this account. Maybe one last thing I want to do is give Kieran a heads up on what we've done. So again, I could open up the Ava chat window and I can say, schedule a follow-up visit for this customer for, let's say, second week in February. Great, it's giving me a follow-up visit. Now, actually, I've realized I've just made a mistake. This is the problem of doing these live demonstrations. I've probably just scheduled that for Sophie, right? I was meant to schedule this for Kieran because I want him to come back and do this visit. It's his account and he needs to make sure he's following up. So change the owner of the visit to Kieran. Amazing. Ava's handled it for me. She manages to correct even my mistakes, which is fantastic. And Kieran is hopefully going to be very happy with this outcome, and he's going to be pleased that I've scheduled that follow-up so he can give this account some more attention based on his expertise. So let us move on to the last demonstration. Okay, so for this last demonstration, I want to do something a little different. We've seen how Ava can be used as a personal coach or assistant. We've also seen how Ava can be embedded directly into retail execution for your field sales, your promotion, your compliance related tasks. What we haven't seen is what Ava can do when she scales. So everything we've already seen has been much more of a one-on-one interaction, but Ava is so much more than that. Ava doesn't just have to be that one-on-one interaction. She can be managing your entire business behind the scenes in an automated way. So for this use case, I'm going to show you how Ava can handle claims processing at scale. So I'm logged into the Aforza application, and we're actually looking at the Ava view. So this is what we use to see what Ava's doing behind the scenes. So we can track what Ava's doing, we can see the current status and the current progress of anything that she's touching in the system. So what we're looking at right here is Ava's claims processing dashboard. So when I log in as a sales manager, I can quickly review Ava's current jobs. So I can see on the top left that there's currently 29 claims being processed or being analyzed by Ava. We can see that there is currently 6 under review. She's rejected a few, she's approved a few, and some have actually been paid out as well. And then we can see the total balance of those claims that are currently running through Ava. So it's quite a lot of money. And then we can look at more granular details like, what promotions are those claims coming from, what are the types of claims, and any other details that you want to surface. But what's important here is that any claim that comes into the system is automatically being analyzed by Ava so that she can take a first pass at approving or rejecting that claim. If we click into her actual queue, we can see all the claims she's currently processing. So there's about 30 items here, and we can see that there's the claimant who's actually pushing the claim through, the promotion is being claimed against, and the current status that Ava has marked it as. So she might have rejected it, it might currently be be under review with her, it might have only been submitted and she hasn't got around to taking that yet. And then importantly, if we scroll across to the right here, this is the justification that Ava will put in about why she has rejected or approved a claim. So that's really cool. We can also switch to this Kanban view, and here we get a more graphical view of what Ava is currently processing. So again, we can see the ones that have been submitted, what's currently being approved by her, or waiting approval by her, I should say, the under review section where she's actively looking at the details of those claims to decide whether they should be approved or rejected, and then her final judgment whether they've been approved or rejected. There's then a manual step before we actually pay the claim where a user can go and validate what Ava has suggested. So that's all really good. Let's go ahead and look at a specific claim to see what's going on behind the scenes with Ava and how she's doing this. So I've opened up this first claim here, and it's a claim from Baxter Bars Northwest, the visit that we just performed. They're claiming against a VIP discount for 2024 last year. And if I scroll down, I can see they're claiming for £8,000. It's an invoice claim, an off-invoice claim, and we can see there's a number of claim line items that have been identified by Ava in the documentation they provided. And we can also see right away that Ava has rejected this, and there's some short justification here as well, which we'll get into in a second. So that's really cool. This claim was submitted by Baxter Bars, and Ava automatically analyzed it, updated it with the relevant details it needed, and then also decided whether to approve or reject it based on the criteria. So how did Ava work out whether to approve or reject this? Well, if I click on the Studio tab, we can see that she has access to all that same information that we saw during that visit. So we can see the product identification shelf image that was uploaded by one of our users. We can see the share of shelf rendition of that as well. And then we've got a watermarked version as well to prove that it was done on a certain date and time. So Ava has access to that. Ava also has access to all of the promotion information, the customer's contracts, the audits that have been performed either recently or in the past. And using all that information, Ava's then able to come up with a approval or rejection criteria that she uses. So right here, Ava has actually posted automatically all of the reasoning behind her decision. So if we look through this, she says the claim has been rejected to several compliance issues. The first one says our compliance rules stipulate that King and Duke products cannot be placed next to each other. But based on that recent in-store audit that we just conducted, that she knows that there's a Duke Standard and a King Diet soft drinks on the same shelf. She also goes on to state that the share of shelf is too low. It should be higher based on the contractual stipulations that this customer has signed up for. And then she also noticed that the documentation provided, so the Excel document that was uploaded as part of this claim, was incomplete and contained some incorrect information. So she's done that analysis automatically without anyone having to intervene. She's found the information she needs automatically, and then she's notified the relevant sales reps and relevant account managers to make sure that they're aware of this rejection. And she's done that along with 30 others all in the span of 5 minutes. Now, Ava can process all of your claims in the system automatically, whether that's hundreds or thousands. She can handle all of that. And it's not just claims. She can automatically create perfect predicted orders for all of the customers that you might be visiting. She can help with your route reassignments. She can do any sort of bulk action that normally would take you hours to do, and she can do it in a matter of seconds. So that's super, super powerful. So just to reiterate, Ava's not just for one-on-one coaching. She's super good at that, but she's also really good at automating your business processes with intelligence. There's no other solution out there today that would be able to look at your claims and use intelligent rules and be able to use intelligence to accurately define whether that claim should be rejected or approved. And of course, everything in the system, like I showed you at the start, is put into the reporting and dashboards, so you have complete control and oversight over what Ava's doing. Everything can be reviewed by you prior to sending it out to a customer. So what have we seen today? We've seen 3 key scenarios. The first scenario was about Ava as a coach, helping a new employee get onboarded, understanding the sales process of a company, understanding the accounts that they need to visit and manage, and doing all of that no matter what channel you're on, whether it's on your laptop or your mobile phone or tablet. And then scenario 2 went into a standard retail execution demonstration, but now it's been enhanced with Ava's intelligence. So we looked at how Ava can be used to reassign visits, provide visit insights, so you know exactly what you need to do, and then how Ava can be used to analyze store shelves, look at all the other information available to her, and then give you really guided information and suggestions on what you need to approve that customer. And then finally, we've seen how Ava can be used for mass processing at scale. So looking at all of your claims coming into the system and automatically providing that first line of defense between approval and rejection. So hopefully I've shown you something that's going to get your brains thinking, but we're really, really excited about the future of consumer goods with the power of Ava and AI intelligence. So with that, I will hand it back over to Dominic. Dominic, you still there? And thank you everyone for your time.
Fantastic. I feel like, I have this kind of weird speakers tick thing where I find myself saying the same thing in these webinars, like at this point, which is like, I know I've seen it before, but I know it's our stuff and I know it's my baby, but I still get impressed by it. But I do want to say thank you, Nick. Congratulations to you and the team. We just saw Ava as a commercial coach. helping people who perhaps are brand new and haven't had training, or even experts who need a reminder. We saw Ava doing daily tasks, helping people with everything from orders to visits. And then, of course, we're seeing the heavy lifting, like game-changing levels of productivity impact. Three very, very important demonstrations. So let me actually give you more reasons to believe beyond the demonstration, because this is happening very quickly. So excited that we're engaging with Brewdog, one of our longtime customers, who are going to be using the commercial coach, and AG Bar, who together with our other image recognition partner Neurolabs are completely transforming the way they sell. And we're working with many system integrators and partners who are absolutely going to help us bring this to market all over the world. Everybody from all over the world. We work with analysts, and we're so pleased that Promotion Optimization Institute and Gartner are recognizing the impact of this technology. And the business impact is significant. Now, this is kind of a simplified business case model here, but let me spell out for you. When you go into your back to your respective companies, and you think, well, we should probably be doing something, and how do I explain this to my chief financial officer? And he's going to want, or he or she's going to want a really ironclad business case. One of the things, by the way, first of all, talk to us and if you want help, but one of the things we realized was we were able to go through every single role that we see in your market, the merchandisers, the category planners, everyone, right? The key account managers. We went through all of them, sales managers, and looked at what they did and mapped Ava use cases against it and then quantified the gains. We can literally do it role by role. So we have a deluge of data on this, and really feel very, very confident about explaining why the value. So probably too much to go into in a webinar like this today, but like if you have questions or thinking about how to explain it all, please just ask us to help, and we would be delighted to do that. How do you get started? Well, in some ways, one of the things that's actually great about all this is, if you're an Aforza customer, you can literally flip it on. And even technologies like our commercial coach are very close to being instant on. Like it doesn't take, if you've already implemented Aforza, like there's no massive project here. It's just like, kind of instant on, a few days of just tweaks and tuning, and then off you go. So, I think though I would say the two things though to think about, because it's a bit like if you drop this technology on somebody who's been doing this for 30 years and does what they do and is perhaps not really super excited about change, think about the personas, think about the use cases, and it's really use case and persona led. It is product led to a certain extent. We'll give you suggestions. But really it's about the process, the use case and the persona. You match these two things together, you give people a few pointers about how to get started, and then it's go time, right? So I think that like all things in technology, there's probably some initial trepidation, moves to adoption, moves to fanatical evangelizing of it, especially the people who will end up like doing their jobs in like half the time of what they normally get done. Those people are going to be very, very vocal about it. So I think that that's the kind of process you want to put in place. And if that's a point of concern for you, or you're excited or cautious or just like advice, please, again, reach out. With all these topics, you can just ask us stuff. We're always going to give you our professional opinion for it. Now, with AI, there'll be some people who want to go gung-ho straight into it, and there'll be some cautious people and some skeptics. But there will also be people who are like, both excited but slightly scared about the things that could go wrong. There's things like regulations, the security, data privacy. Everyone's heard about hallucination. We have thought about all of these things. We have either technical solutions or processes in place that help you tune and manage this. But you can see things like data privacy. You control whatever shares. Hallucination is really mitigated by the fact it's vertical AI. We're not asking the stuff to write poems or letters to your local authority to complain about parking tickets. Vertical AI use cases are very specific, so you kind of avoid many of these problems. But again, this is probably lots to say about these subjects that way too much for this call. But again, we'd be delighted to chat to people about it and help allay any concerns or fears that people might have. So, I'm excited. Our company's excited. Our partners are excited. Customers are already getting gung-ho, get stuck in. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind by this. Trust me, if you're concerned about this, you think, I'll do it later, it's not for this year. Watch your competitors, because I think this is one of these things where you don't want to be last. Being last in this race means that your costs are significantly more expensive than everyone else's. So we have created an offer to get started with that commercial coach, where we're going to let you start for free with the software. You get like a nice message bank of credits to start with, and then you only have to pay once you actually consume it all. So please take. You've got the QR code on the screen. There's a link there. I'm sure we'll put the link in the follow-up emails. And just get going. Like ask us for a little help. Get you started and crack on. Please embrace. I was about to say embrace the future. This is not an embrace the future message. Embrace it now. Embrace today, and get cracking and get rid of all those lost days and pointless expenses that drag everyone back. So I hope you really enjoyed that. But I'd love to take questions and feedback. Please let me do the transitioning thing here. Now my marketing team helps me, because I'm going to try and move over to get to my question list. Team marketing, do we have that? Nick, are you still there?